Live. Hello.
Hi.
Okay. Now we're telling your followers. Okay. All right. We are all set. Our information is in the background. There's Avia's information, her Instagram name, and she is a self-discovery guide.
Absolutely. And you can call me Avia too.
Avia. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good.
Avia. And then this is my information. Of course, you already know. Hira, this is the Yaya. And, okay.
All righty.
Should we wait for a few minutes, maybe a minute or so?
We can wait a minute or so.
Yeah.
Because everyone is getting so ready for this interview. They're getting their popcorn, they're getting their tea.
Yes, they are.
Their water to hear this groundbreaking interview. Well, discussion.
Yes.
Oh, goodness. I'm happy to be here.
Yes, happy to be here too. And we will be sharing how we met. We met this summer. And it's a very interesting story on how we met. And it was at a very interesting time as well. So
Absolutely.
we'll be sharing that as well.
All right.
Okay. So I think we can start.
All right.
So this live is going to be, we're going to be discussing limiting beliefs. What are limiting beliefs? How has Avia dealt with limiting beliefs? How, maybe some tips on how you can deal with limiting beliefs. Are you dealing with limiting beliefs? Have you dealt with limiting beliefs in the past? Is there anything you want to add?
Just that limiting beliefs will do what we're saying. It will limit you and it will limit your beliefs. Right. So it is our responsibility to teach and to show and to guide you that limiting beliefs are just that. You can think above your limiting beliefs,
Right.
which is something that I had to learn and apply to myself and you as well.
Yes.
And
Yes.
You'll hear more about that as we share our stories.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so when my name is again Yahira, and then
Avia.
And do you want to share maybe how people can contact you?
Absolutely.
What
So
you do?
my name is Avia, and I'm a self-discovery guide. And I had to discover that. I was 43, and I was working as a teacher assistant, and I was actually miserable. And I knew that I wasn't living my life to my full potential. And I always remembered that God said that we could live off of our gifts and talents. And so I really, at that moment, decided to discover what my gifts and talents are and were. Some I knew I had, some I didn't. And as you go on your journey, you'll be discovering more and more gifts and talents that you already naturally have. Gifts and talents, you don't have to do much tweaking. They're natural, they're innate, they come for you to use while you're here. And most people don't know that about themselves. So it is my responsibility to teach you to discover who you are. Because that is what we're missing. If you don't know who you are, you don't know what you can do. So at 43, I'd really been like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to leave this job, or am I going to continue doing something that I don't want to do? I kept consulting God because I do believe that there is a supernatural energy that is a source energy that we can all pull from. So you don't have to do it alone. You can pull from this energy that we all have access to. And so I decided to pull from that energy, sit down, and on my journey, I'm starting to hear more. And so I heard to leave my job. Well, at first, because of my limiting beliefs, I was like, there's no way I can leave my job. If I leave my job, I don't have money to pay the bills. I'm 43. Am I too old to get out there and start again? So there are many limiting beliefs that come across my plate, and other people telling me, you're crazy to leave this job. Why would you leave this job? This is how it works. You have to step outside of everything people are telling you and yourself. And that's what I did. And I began to discover who I was. And that's how I discovered who I was. I discovered I used to suffer from low self-esteem, low confidence, not believing in myself, to being confident, knowing what my purpose in life is, and helping guide other people to that place of discovery.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So that's what I do. I help people to discover who they are so they can be able to move forward. Because again, if you don't know who you are, you don't know what you can do. You don't know what your abilities are. You don't know the power that you have. But I know that, and that's what I'm teaching to my clients.
Perfect. And then how can they contact you? Through Instagram?
Yep, Instagram at Life Design LLC. I also have an email, which is Avia Mebane, AviaMebane @gmail.com. I'm here. I'm ready. The people, everyone that works with me, they discover themselves and they're moving forward in life. So this is a true and authentic service that I'm offering, and it is very helpful. Yes.
And so I have a similar story to Avia. I was also working a job in which I was very dissatisfied with my life, with my health, with just everything in general. And I just felt stuck. And again, limiting beliefs. I could have quit the job. I could have left. I had options, but I felt that I did not have options. And it wasn't until I got let go of that job where I saw, well, you know what, this isn't so much of a curse. It's not, it's working for me. It's something that's working for me, and now I'm completely free to do what I need to do. I have all the tools that I need to be able to live a more fulfilling life. And that's exactly what I've been doing since that time. Of course, I'm still working through limiting beliefs. And the funny thing is, I'll share how we met this summer. I was going to the Enchanted Fae, is that right? Mm-hmm. I went to the Enchanted Fae, and Avia was working there that day. And, for some reason, we started talking. She told me, some details about the store, and then afterwards she shared her story. She shared her story on limiting beliefs, how she came to be a self-discovery guide, and just her words were they were encouraging, and I could completely resonate with what she was telling me because I had been through the same thing in a different way, but I could relate to what she was telling me. Mm-hmm. And at that time, I was working side gigs here and there, and I shared with her my story, and I shared with her, well, I applied for a job that I'm not really completely 100% with. And her advice was confirmation for what I needed to do. And me hearing that confirmation really helped me take the next step during that summer, which was pivotal for me.
Right.
So, of course, if you need any guidance, Avia is the person to go to, because that day, that confirmation was so needed. I know I have the tools. We all know our answers, but sometimes you need somebody to confirm what you already know, or you need to hear it from someone else. And Avia is the person to go to.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So that's how we met this summer. And then I was thinking of doing a live on limiting beliefs, and of course, Avia was the first person to pop up in my mind because her way with words, she's so encouraging, inspiring. She has this fire within her that it gets everyone, to want to go for it. Just like she did this summer. She encouraged me, and she was that confirmation, and I know she'll be confirmation for others during this live. Just hearing her story and hearing her words on what limiting beliefs are.
Absolutely.
How you can overcome those as well.
Absolutely. I have awakened many people with the revelation that you received. And it's not for everybody. It's when you're ready. You know when you're ready, because you'll start to resonate with what I'm saying. Some people I'll tell my story to and they're completely not feeling it. And that's fine, because they're not there, or they may never get there. But those who are inquisitive, those who want to know more, those who know that there is more, those are the ones who resonate with what I say. There was another client. She was riding around with her laptop in her car for months. And she says, I'm ready to leave, but I'm not quite ready to go. I don't know when to turn my laptop in. We had a discussion. Next time I saw her, she said, oh, I turned that laptop in the day after we discussed it. And then she's moving forward. Limiting beliefs will hold you back. Limiting beliefs. I'm too old. I'm too young. I'm too big. I'm too small. I can't do this. There's not enough money. Those kinds of limiting beliefs will keep you stuck. They will keep you stagnant. Again, so knowing who you are, knowing that there are benefits that come with knowing who you are, and how you can change the trajectory of your life starting today, like now. It's not a formula that you have to wait till next month or next year when the year starts new. No, you can start today when you're ready. And that's the beauty of it. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. And that also, just to be clear, it doesn't mean that you have to quit your job.
No.
It does not mean that you have to quit your job, but it's about knowing what you're capable of, knowing that you're not stuck where you are.
Right.
That you can, if you wanted to, move ahead or go somewhere else. That you're not obligated to make certain choices. You have several choices, several options in your life, and you're not obligated to just make one just because you feel, oh, I'm not gonna make it there, or like Avia said, I'm too old, or I don't have enough money. How am I going to do this? How am I going to pay for rent? How am I going to pay for food? You know, there's a lot of things, even limiting beliefs from other people.
Right.
Family members.
Right.
Just societal norms hold a lot of limiting beliefs.
Absolutely. And again, like she said, I am not telling anyone to quit their jobs.
No.
That's something that you have already thought about, felt led, because it might not be quitting the job. It may be leaving a relationship. It may be joining this club. It may be starting this thing. But whatever it is, you have to figure it out, and you have to move forward, and you have to work on that. But for me, it was leaving the job. That's what I needed personally.
Right.
Right. So again, I would never tell you to do that.
Right. And it could be even this summer, I had applied for a job which I wasn't 100% into. I was just going to go work just to work when my heart wasn't completely in it, because I felt that my limiting belief was, oh, well, how am I going to sustain myself and my family if I don't take this job? Like, everybody else in my family was like, what are you doing?
Right.
What are you doing? You're an adult. You're supposed to be working. It doesn't matter if you like your job or not. Just go to work. So any of these type of situations could be a limiting belief.
Right.
So let's talk a little bit about limiting beliefs. What are some limiting beliefs that maybe some people may be
faced with or dealing with?
Yes.
Again, your age. Even your race. Some people may say, oh, I'm a minority, so they're not going to want to do that. You have to release all of that. One thing is we're humans. We're human beings, and we're all created the way that we were meant to be. So you're perfect as you are. And God would never create something that wouldn't be able to be successful. So we're already successful, whether we're 2 feet 3, we're 85 years old, whatever, zero money in the bank, we're perfect where we are. And just having the faith to want to get to know who you are, that right there will open doors for you. The belief that you have in yourself. I was created perfectly. There's nothing wrong with me. And when you're going through this journey, you have to look straight ahead. You can't look at everybody else what they're doing, because everybody has their own personal journey, which is exciting. But stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. Stay on your journey and your path. Don't get sidetracked by what others are doing. And I know social media does tend to get people to compare themselves to others. No, because half of the people you see, all of them might not be happy. You don't know what they're going through.
Right.
So focus on yourself. Focus on your growth, your development, because as human beings, we are mission-based people. We came here to get things done. It is our responsibility to bring light and to be the light for others. So focus on what your gift is. What is your talent? What is your gift to the world? Because we all have gifts that we have to bring to the world, and we have to operate in that gifting. So get to know yourself, and that's not just self-love. It's getting deeper, again, knowing that there is a supernatural source energy that we can tap into that will help us to keep going. And that is what I guide you with. I guide you on getting to know who you are. I'm guiding you to know where you can go. We're stretching your mind. We're changing perspectives. You have to change perspectives. The way you see things have to change. I had to do a lot of perspective shifting in order to get to where I was. And so there's little things that we have to do, and I will be here to guide you. It's one of the most important things that you could do for yourself. So yes, those are some limiting beliefs, and there are many more limiting beliefs, because you know what your limiting beliefs are, and you know the limiting beliefs that people have put on you. And so you have to know no one can put anything on you. This is your journey.
Right.
So you have to know yourself and be confident enough to be able to move forward.
Right. Yes. And then also what I would like to add is that limiting beliefs doesn't have a certain age limit. So you can have limiting beliefs all throughout your life. You can start having limiting beliefs when you're a child, when you're a teenager, when you're an older 60, 70-year-old person. You can have limiting beliefs. It's about you realizing that you have a limiting belief,
right,
and you working with it to overcome it.
Right.
So what are some ways that you can overcome it?
Well, if you can pinpoint a limiting belief, that means that's a good sign. Because a lot of people can't even pinpoint a limiting belief. They're like, oh no, this is just how it is. This is the way. But if you can pinpoint it, you're already at a good place. So sitting down with yourself, writing out, what are the limiting beliefs? What are some things that I wanted to experience in life, and why haven't I done it yet? Because of this. They said I was too old. They said I was African American. They said I was a female. Start writing those things out, and then start to discover yourself. Who am I? I am perfectly and wonderfully made. I can get this done. I can do X, Y, and Z. So writing these things out, and then looking at them and saying, wow. And another thing is, I told us not to compare ourselves, but there's so many people out here who are doing wonderful things, who've gone through limiting beliefs. So some of your favorite actors, singers, doctors, lawyers, some of your favorite people, look to them. They didn't just get there overnight, and it wasn't all roses and rainbows. They had to work through things, and that's how successful people get to be successful, because they are working through those limiting beliefs. And then the last thing you can do is call me, and then we get those limiting beliefs worked out, because believe it or not, it's more simple than it sounds, because I had to do it for myself personally. I had to sit with myself, and I had to figure this out. Is this really, am I giving myself this limiting belief, or did somebody else put this on? Who told me this about myself?
Yes.
Because my parents told me great things about myself. So why am I going against with what things that I know? We're allowing outside factors let us know who we are. And no, you have to know it starts with self-knowledge, self-love. That's how you get rid of those limiting beliefs.
Yes. And again, if you need to book anything with Avia, all her information is in the background.
That's right.
And yeah, sometimes you do need confirmation. Like I said, sometimes you know the answer. You know that you have a limiting belief and that you are setting yourself back, but you need somebody else to confirm that message for
Right.
you.
Exactly.
Right?
Because one thing we have to know also, we're not alone. We're never alone. And when you tap into, okay, I want to fulfill this stuff on my journey, God will send people your way to help you along. You're never alone. And that's the good news. You're never alone.
Yes, and that's a little going back. That's what happened this summer for me when I met Avia, because it was confirmation. I felt alone. I felt like I have all the tools, but why am I still struggling with this decision? And you were that voice of confirmation for me that summer. So yeah, again, you can, if you have limiting beliefs, you can see someone or have somebody help you overcome those limiting beliefs. So then what are some other steps? Once you have someone, you've already seen what your limiting beliefs are, what are some steps that you can make? What are some things that people can start looking forward to once you realize and you're starting to overcome those limiting beliefs?
So it's application. So after you've learned what you need to do, you have to apply it. Because that's the only way you'll test it and see if it's working or not. So that takes a lot of faith and belief in yourself. So when you're starting this journey, you have to believe in yourself. That's basically what it is. And then you apply it. And then once you apply it, just like the clients that I have, I've taught them, guided them how they needed to do, and then they started the application process. And I'm telling you, within moments, they'll start to see a change. There's a shift that will happen just from your shift of your perspective and your thinking. It's all energetic, and you will shift into a whole nother way of thinking. Again, and I talked about perspectives. You have to change the way you're seeing things. And you have to say, oh, this is happening for me, not to me. Everything that's challenging is not to harm you. Oh, this is too hard right now. I don't think I can do this. No, say, you know what? This is a little challenging, but I know this is for my benefit. I know that if I can get through this, I can get through the next hurdle. And I can get through the next hurdle. And I can get through the next hurdle. And that's the thing. And once you have knocked down one limiting belief, go ahead and start knocking down the other limiting beliefs, because they will fall down. There's no choice for them to stand, because you are not acknowledging them, and you've changed your perspective on it.
Right. So you mentioned the shift in energy, the shift in the way that you think on what certain situations that happen to you, and you start shifting your way on how you think on those situations. Oh, they're not happening to me, they're happening for me.
Exactly.
And so what are some other things that people can look forward to when you shift your view on limiting beliefs and you have that energy shift?
Well, I mean, an energy shift is a vibrational shift. So limiting beliefs puts you in a low vibrational state. When you're shifting into a high vibrational state, not only does that shift, but you have a brighter outlook on life. You're more happy. Like, your life will just turn around in small ways, and then you'll start to notice it. It's just like a knockdown effect. Once you knock down one little thing, life just gets brighter, and it seems like it gets easier also. So that's it's just a whole vibrational shift for yourself, period.
Yeah.
So for people who are always down and depressed because they're like, oh, because of that limiting belief, once they realize, let me use me for example. At first I thought, this is life, this is how it is, so I'm going to have to deal with it. But once I figured out that I can shift my trajectory, do you know how excited I got? I was like, oh my God, I can change this. I don't have to be stuck like this. I can shift this energy. That was exciting to me. So that shifted my whole vibration. So it did it for me. It will do it for you. That's how energy works.
Right. And then just opening yourself up to receiving messages. When you shift your energy, you start noticing and receiving the messages. If I wouldn't have been open
Right.
this summer to receive your message or receive that confirmation, then I would have not overcome that limiting belief.
Right.
So so just making that shift also helps you realize and receive what
Exactly.
the confirmations.
And it just went to show that you were ready for that information.
Right.
Whether you knew it or not, you were ready. Your mind had already started formulating these thoughts and opinions like, I'm getting tired of this. You were starting to get uncomfortable.
Yes.
So when you heard that one word or whatever, it just awakened you to what you already knew. I'm not telling you stuff, honestly, that you really don't know that's already not there. You already know. I'm just here to awaken it, open it, and set you through that door, that course. And it's so rewarding. I'm telling you, it's very rewarding.
Right. So once you've already shifted your energy, in a way you become your authentic self.
Yes.
So what does living an authentic life mean once you've overcome your limiting beliefs? One thing, do you ever overcome all your limiting beliefs, or do they come back? Or do new limiting beliefs come?
Well, yeah, new ones will come. But some of the old ones still try to creep back as a test. Like, is she really, really canceled this out? Mm-hmm. She'll come back to test you. But once you have shut down that limiting belief, you just work on the other ones. Mm-hmm. And it should be a little easier. And don't get confused by what the limiting belief is, because you're like, oh, that's a big one. That one's going to be harder to do. Don't do that. Just put your energy and focus it on changing this limited belief. You have to be optimistic and you have to be open, because if you're closed, you're not going to see the change. You're not going to experience the change. But once you're open and God knows you're open, that's when stuff happens. That's when the stuff comes through. But you have to be open and you have to put yourself out there to be able to see change. If not, you're going to be stuck with that one limiting belief, or however many you have, and you'll never experience the freedom. And so for me releasing the limited beliefs allowed me to be free, because a lot of things I was taught, like you have to graduate high school, which I say do that. You got to go to college, you got to get that degree to get that good job. Well, for me, that wasn't the outlook that I wanted for myself. But limiting beliefs and people tell me, no, that's the only way to go. There's so many paths to enlightenment. There's so many paths. And so you're not stuck in that one way. And once I realized there's so many ways, different ways to get to where you want to go, that's exciting. And you should be excited and you should be ready to get the moving and the shaking.
Yeah, and then if you wouldn't have realized that, then you wouldn't be able to help others.
I wouldn't have been able to help others.
You wouldn't be where you are right now.
No, and one thing about me, because I always felt like I knew that humans are mission-based people, purpose-based people. I've always wanted to know my purpose in life for years. Like since my teens, I was like, what is my purpose? What is my purpose? What is my purpose? I focused on trying to figure out what my purpose was instead of just being. You have to just be every day. And in that moment of being, you have to be optimistic. You have to be open. And that's when the shift and stuff can happen. But if you're closed off, your trajectory is not going to change. This works. It's real. God is real, in my opinion. So just working with that energy to shift you to where you need to be. That's key. That's key.
And what does freedom look for you in your life when you?
Freedom is like,
when you reach that level.
Because for me, 9 to 5 work is not my thing. It's never been my thing. So I don't have a 9 to 5. So for me, that's freedom. I'm not on anybody's clock. I'm not on anybody's. I don't have to take this shot, that shot. I don't have to get this background check, that. I don't have to do these things that society says you have to do. I can just be. I can be free. And once you discover your gifts and talents, that's freedom. That's freedom. You can do what you want. A self-discovery guide, what is that? There's no self-discovery guide out here.
Nope.
I created that because at first I was calling myself a life coach. Because everybody knows what a life coach is. Mm-hmm. So I was like, I'll use that terminology, but it didn't stick with me because there are millions of life coaches out here. How am I going to set myself apart from the millions of life coaches out here? Well, I'm calling myself a self-discovery guide. And I'm the only one to my knowledge that's in the world. I'm saying that. So I'm set apart. I'm special, just like you are. What is your gifting? Work with that gifting and set yourself apart. If you're not a 9-to-5er, if you're not what are you going to do? And for me, I decided I wanted to live off my gifts and talents. That's freedom for me. And everybody has their own freedom, what freedom is to them. But I wake up when I want to wake up. I do what I want to do when I want to do. I don't have anyone saying, Avia, you got to be here in 20 minutes. Or you got to. No. And the work that I could do, that I'm doing, I can do it anywhere in the world. I can do it anywhere because I can talk to people over the phone. I can have clients. You can be in D.C. and I can be in Hawaii. And I can still, so it's a freedom base where I can still do my work wherever I am in the world. And so that's what freedom for me is also.
Yeah. I feel like that's, I can relate to that. Mm-hmm. That's something that I've always wanted, that type of freedom. And I know that there are other people that also don't feel happy in that 9-to-5, and they also are looking for that type of freedom. They want to do what they feel is right for them.
Yes.
Without having someone telling them what they have to do.
Right.
So that is something that is that you can look forward to when you reach that.
Right.
When you break through the limiting belief and you level up.
You level up.
Yeah.
And so you ask yourself, what does freedom look like to you? And from there, that's when you got to work on your limiting beliefs. So we can look at the bigger picture first and then start working backwards. Mm-hmm. So what is the bigger picture for you? What do you want for yourself? How do you want to live your life? Get that out there first. And then we work on how we can get there, because it is absolutely possible for you to get there. So that's how you work. You look at the bigger picture, and then we come back to the beginning. Okay, how can we get to where I want to go? And it works, and it will work. And
I know you mentioned it, but it's very important to make a difference between your limiting beliefs, your individual limiting beliefs, and other people's limiting beliefs, because that is a blurred line. And like you said, sometimes, like you said earlier, are those my limiting beliefs? Is that something that I truly believe, or is that something that I heard from someone else, or is this a societal limiting belief that
Exactly.
I've grown up to think that is my own?
Right. Don't carry what's not yours. And a lot of us are carrying what our family has told us, mm-hmm. our friends, our partners. I was told I was crazy for leaving my job. Who leaves a job without having a job lined up? I was like, me. Because I was at my wit's end. And like at this point, I needed to go hard. Like I said, I was 43, I'm 47 now. And age has nothing to do with it. But at the time, I said, if I don't do this now, am I going to do it at 50? And the answer was no. So it's like, okay, I need to start now. So again, age is not a limiting belief, because someone can start at 85 again. It's when you're ready. So that's the beauty of it. That's how it works. And then, like you're saying, there are people out there who are going to push and tell you what you cannot do. But how can they tell you what you can't do when they're not you? That doesn't even make sense to me. How is somebody going to tell you who you are and what you can and cannot do? You are in control of that. You know who you are. You know what you can and cannot do. Okay? So we want to X out what people are saying that is negative. And then we have to look at ourselves, and what are we telling ourselves? Because we are our worst critics. We are our worst critics. I mean, I've beat myself up and down before in life. But guess what? You also have to be your best encourager, because no one's going to bring you up like you. No one's going to hype you up like the way you can hype yourself up. And then we don't want to look to others for them to hype us up. You got to have that natural hype for yourself, because most people aren't going to hype you up. Right. Most people are haters. Most people don't want to see people rise up. So you've got to choose the people, the circles that you're around. And also, you have to start paying attention to what you're watching. Start paying attention to what you're listening to. Because just having that stuff in your ear where it's people you don't even know, it's the music, it's what you're seeing, those things dictate to you too who you are. So during this journey, when you're starting out, you can only listen to positive things. You need to be around positive people, people who encourage you. And if you don't have anyone, stick to yourself. God loves you. You're never alone. So you are in control of your life. How do you want it to be? It's in your hands.
Right. And so that reminds me a little bit of living authentically. When you become your authentic self, you become so strong that you know what you believe in, you know what your beliefs are, and there's nothing that anyone can tell you differently.
Right.
Because you already are, you have a conviction within you. You have faith. You already know yourself. So there's no way that somebody's going to tell you, oh, well, you know, you can't do this. Well, no, because I know that I can.
Exactly.
And that's how, you know, when you are in your authentic self, that's how, you know, you think. Your mind changes, your way of thinking changes, your energy shifts, like Avia said. And what does that mean for you? Like, are you living your authentic self right now?
I'm living, because I've been on this journey. I left my job in 2018. So it took some time for me to really figure out who I was. So for me, it's funny because there's some people who can work and do the, you know, work jobs, have kids, and also do this inner work. I'm not that one. I'm not a multitasker. So God knows me. So for me, I had to quit my job in order to do this work, because it was a lot of work. And I'd be in the house for hours doing the work. And a lot of people were like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? You're going to lose your home. You're going to lose your car because you're not working. Then some people were calling me lazy. And I'm like, they have no idea what I'm doing behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. And those things, I'm going to tell you, it's a couple of times I was like, well, maybe they're right. Maybe I need to go ahead and get a job. But that conviction inside of me never allowed me to fold. I had to put my bootstraps on and say, Avia, you know exactly who you are. You know exactly what God is telling you to do. So listening to these outside sources is going to mess you up big time. And so I decided, I was like, nope. So I had to, and that takes work and practice to be able to eke out that voice, those voices. And you have internal voices too that are telling you you can't do X, Y, and Z. You got to shut them voices up too.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I can relate to what she's saying, and I know you guys can relate to it as well, whether you're starting to realize what your limiting beliefs are, or you've already realized and you're in a new stage where you have new limiting beliefs, or you have reoccurring old ones that are testing you, like Avia said, because sometimes they do come back to see, well, did she really change? Is she really living her authentic life?
Exactly.
Is she really living authentically? Is she following through? And I think that's what was happening during the summer for me. And again, voice of confirmation, motivating, inspiring, and it clicked for me. Sometimes you need people to really confirm that message for you.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm excited that I'm living in my gift and purpose. Because if I wasn't, I wouldn't have said anything to her. And then she would have been still in the same position that she was. I'm here to be used. I know who I am, and I know I came to do this work. So that's the thing. You have to make sure you're ready. Because when you're out there, you don't know who God is going to connect you with to help. And I've just noticed my journey, and I've noticed all the people that God has touched through me. And that's because I was ready. That's because I'm prepared. That's because I've released those limited beliefs. If I have these limiting beliefs, do you think God will have me go out to help people? No, because I'm not ready. I'm ready. And that's how I'm able to help people. I've accepted my gifts and talents. And before, I've had people say, oh, you're gifted in this, you're gifted in that. And I was like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. But it wasn't until I really accepted my gifts, like teaching. Teaching is a gift of mine. Mm-hmm. Once I said, yes, I am a teacher, guess what? God started putting me in positions where I can teach those that I need to teach. Once I accepted who I was, then you're able to be used. But if you're shaky and flaky and you're like, I'm not sure if I can do this, you cannot be used. And the key is to be used, because when you are being used to do this work, imagine the good energy that comes back to you, because you're helping out the collective with your gifts. So it is your responsibility to discover, find out your purpose so you can operate in those gifts. So, yeah, because I'll go off on a tangent with that one.
It's okay. But it's important not only for yourself, but then also you start attracting authentic relationships.
Right.
Other people that are also living their authentic truth. They're being their authentic self. Example,
Exactly.
because we met this summer, and then for this live, the first person that came up was Avia. So you start attracting more authentic situations. Maybe
Exactly.
that job, maybe you apply for a job, a 9 to 5, but it's something that you truly enjoy,
Right.
that you actually look forward to going to,
Right.
okay. So it's more of a real more authenticity in your life, not only within yourself, but you also start attracting people, situations,
Exactly.
help.
Exactly. And like you said, because some people aren't wanting to quit jobs. So, but like she said, is this the 9 to 5 for you? You can go to another 9 to 5, but have a 9 to 5 that works around your basis of freedom.
Yes.
You can write out what it is. What is it that I am looking for in a 9 to 5? The time you come in, the time you get to leave, how many days you get off. You can put these things out there. Okay, God, I'm ready. I'm going to leave this job, but I need another job. This is what I need to be comfortable. This is what I need to feel like I'm free. Because within a 9 to 5, you can still be free. You can, because like I said, everybody's thing is different. That's not everybody's thing. Mm-hmm. A relationship. You want to be in a relationship. You're in a relationship. It's just not one that's working for you. And a lot of people fear that they're not going to find anybody else. There's nobody else out there. Do you know how big this world is and how many people are in this world? God can shift somebody from Africa to come to DC, to where you are. There's nothing too great to be moved. That energy can be shifted. But you have to take control over your life and say, this is not working for me. I don't want to do this anymore. Whatever it is. And fix it. Because again, it's going to change your attitude. It's going to change the way you talk and relate to other people. It can save your life. Mm-hmm. A lot of people are stressed out. People are dying from these jobs or relationships or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be that way for you. It doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah. And most importantly, like Avia has said, you're not alone. Mm-hmm. There are people that are willing to help you that have been in similar situations and that can help you. And again, you have our information in the back.
That's right.
If you need to reach us. But yeah, it's very important, especially now. I think everything has come, together so perfectly, because I contacted Avia during the fall
equinox.
The fall equinox. And that's a change of season.
Right.
That's a change of season where the trees are letting go of what's dead, and they're getting ready to hibernate. And a lot of us are also, during this time, we also switch our mindset and our goals with the seasons as
Right,
well.
right.
We're also looking into, well, is this really making me happy? Is this really something that I need? Do I really need, we're cleaning out our house, we're cleaning out our minds as well. So this is very much needed. And also today is the solar eclipse, which is also pushing everybody to live more authentically. So this is triggering, and it's needed for whoever needs to hear this, that it's very important to live your authentic, to live authentically.
Absolutely.
To break through those limiting beliefs that we all have them. It doesn't matter if we're coaches, self-guides, we still work with limiting beliefs.
Right.
So it's very important to discuss this, because I feel like this can also be a little taboo within society, because we're taught to just keep going. Don't think about it. Just keep going.
Right.
Don't just keep going. I mean, if you think elsewhere, then you're you might be looked at as though you're crazy, or you're lazy, like Avia said.
Right.
So.
Oh, I've been all crazies. I've been all lazies. I've been all the things, okay? But I've continued to keep going because I know the bigger picture. I can see the bigger picture. And so that's why you have to keep going, keep pushing yourself. And in the beginning, it is challenging, because if you've been doing something for so long and then you want to switch it, what? That's challenging. But you have to start with a goal. You have to know, because you can do it. You can do it. You can do it today.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. And like she said, even if I'm 38, and I didn't realize that my limiting beliefs were holding me back until after my 30s. So it's never too late.
Right.
And it's never too early either,
Right.
because there are also young people that are also realizing, that they're dealing with limiting beliefs, and they don't know how to, because we're never taught how to deal with these situations at school, or even with our parents, because they don't realize they have them.
Exactly. So that's another thing. Parents, it is your responsibility to teach your children that they, how to move through these limiting beliefs, so they don't have to go through all the years that we did before we figured it out. Because I just had to figure it out, and I'm grateful that I did, because it's some people who never figure it out. But it is your responsibility to teach your children. They are younger, their minds are younger, their minds are more open to receive. And then if you're doing the work, they'll see it. And they'll be like, ooh, mom is doing this? Okay, and she's been doing it like this for so many years. Look at dad. Dad's changed this. So you are the example. You are the role model for your children. That is your responsibility. You're raising them. So you want to raise them with that freedom that they can shift and change at any moment.
Mm-hmm. And feel like they have a control over their lives. Which
Absolutely.
Is something that we're all looking to feel like we have control in our lives.
Because the beauty is you have more control over your life once you've released these limited beliefs than you did before. So that's a beauty right there. You have more control. You feel less stressed. Your outlook is brighter. Like, these are all the awesome benefits that come with shifting your perspectives and changing your limited beliefs.
Yes. Is there anything else that you wanted to add? I feel like we've talked about a lot.
We have. I'm just very excited. Thank you for everyone. I see my cousin. I see Johnny, who have come on the live today. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that has come on this live. It shows that you're open to wanting to make some changes in your life and knowing that they can be done. Also, you can contact me again at Life Design LLC. I'm here if you have any questions, and get excited. That's all I can say is get excited. We're approaching a new year, so how wonderful is it to start now? So we just go into this new year with this new energy. So thank you, everyone, once again. And thank you, Yahaira, for having me today. I appreciate that.
Yes, this was much needed. And like I said, a lot of things are changing, and people are realizing that 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 we have to break through, that we have to live more authentically, whatever that means to you. So, and there are people here to help you that have also been through the same situation, and can give you the best advice, the best tools, that are not just talking just to talk. They have actually been through the same situation or a similar situation.
Exactly.
So if anybody has any questions, again, this is going to be saved, and this will be saved under my account, but then also in Avia's account, in Life Design. We just have to figure out how to do that.
Okay, this is my first live, so I'm excited about that.
But yeah, but even this message is for whoever watches this. Not only the people on the live, which I appreciate and thank you so much, but also for people that come in contact with this video afterwards, because it will be saved. And there are a lot of interesting and important points that we talked about throughout this live. Is there anything else that you would want to add to this, Avia, before we close out?
No, just wondering if anyone on the live has a question. If you have a question, I'll certainly answer it. But if not, I'm excited to be here. This is what I live for. I'm living in my gift. I'm living in my talent, and I'm excited, and I'm here to share. So please reach out, and just thanks again. And thank you again, Yahaira.
Yes, no, and Avia has a way with words, with motivating people. She motivated me, and I know that you can feel it through in this live, because she is so motivating, and just the passion that she has when she's talking about helping others and how she can help people is just, I feel like it's great, and there's no better person to have on this live than you. So
thank you. I appreciate that so much.
Yeah, so we'll just hold on for maybe a minute and see if anybody has a question or wants to add anything, any comments, questions. Again, all our contact information is in the back. And I also tagged Avia's Instagram account onto the live, so it should be in there as well. And again, it will be saved for anyone who wants to watch it, because there are some very important points in there, and it's very motivating to hear Avia talking. And we all have stories. We all have stories where we're pushing through limiting beliefs, and I feel like it's more now than ever where we are dealing with these issues.
Exactly.
Because so much is changing. So
our whole world is shifting, and so we have to catch up. Those old beliefs, it's time to go. Archaic things, I know this is a little off, but things like racism, that's old. We have to move past that. The hate, it's time to come into a space of love, coming together, working for a collective. So this is a new day. This is a new age. So all those old things, it's time to release them, because they're not helping us currently. We have to invite new ideas, new ways of doing things. Our technology is changing. Everything is changing. We have to catch up with our thinking. We're not stuck in the 60s. This is 2023. So we have to, our minds, our mental state have to come current to where we are. So that's what I have to say.
And then the last thing, that, again, you're not alone. And then also that we will work better together.
Yes.
So a lot of these things that need to be worked through, like racism or like, problems with poverty, it has to be done together. It's
Right.
not going to be just one person or one group that's going to, no, it has to be as a group. It has to be everybody working together, because everybody has different ideas, everybody has different skills and different ways in which they can contribute.
Now, is this a question? Because listen,
So we have one question. Where should we start on the journey of self-discovery and limiting beliefs?
all right. So you started it by typing this question, by asking the question. That's starting it. And again, for me, what I did, I went to the source, which is God. And so I asked God, who am I? I asked God a lot of different questions to put me in a position where I can start to be open. So be real with yourself too. And then also write down what your limiting beliefs are. Write them down. And then write down, where do you see yourself next year? And then you can start with small goals. You don't have to have these great big goals. Like, I want to be the president of a Fortune 500 company by next year. No, you can start small with, okay, I want to get up at 5 o'clock every morning to go to the gym. Give yourself small things to start with. Because for me, I bring that up because I started going to the gym. I have to get up at 3 a.m., which I don't like. My limiting belief was I can't get up early because I'm not a morning person. My sister decided to go to the gym with me, and she's like, this is the time I can go. So if I wanted to go with her, I was like, okay, I can do this. And I had been going. And I've battled that limiting belief. And then once I was like, dang, I can get up at 3 a.m. I can do that. What else can I do? You know, it starts with small things. And then you'll see, once you know that you can do that and accomplish it, it becomes a bigger thing. So just start with writing these things out and really sitting with yourself. Sit with yourself. This is something that you have to do alone. Now, we say we have to work together, but in the beginning stages, this is an alone journey. And it could be lonely. And a lot of people drop off because it's too lonely.
Yes.
They drop off because it's too challenging. But if you can make it through, I'm telling you, the rewards are just amazing. So starting to believe yourself, starting to love yourself, self-love, doing self-love things, those things are going to get you, that's how you start with releasing those negative beliefs.
So would you say that does it depend, or would you say that it's good to start with maybe 5 or 10 things, or just one thing?
Honestly, starting with one thing. Because like me, I'm somebody, I cannot multitask. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not good at that. So I need to do one thing at a time. But the funny thing is, once you do that one thing, some of those other things just naturally fall into place, and you don't even have to do the work. Because you shifted and tweaked one thing, it's cleared the path for those other things. So again, it is way simpler than we say it is or do. But spend time alone. Get to know who you are. Get to love yourself. Know that you are perfect. Know that you are wonderfully and fearfully made. Know that there is no one out here that can tell you anything about you and what you're doing. Have that, get that confidence, and you'll be able to move forward from there.
Okay. And then are there any resources that you would recommend as far as like books or maybe websites, aside from your services, but also like other resources?
Well, everybody is different. So a lot of times, like I said, for me, God is my source. You have to find your sources of energy. So there are like Abraham Hicks. She says a lot of wonderful things about energy shifting. Then there's Bible, there's religion. There's another way you could go that way. So you have to find, because again, there's more than one path to enlightenment. So religion might not be the way for everybody, but another way may be for. So discover the paths of enlightenment that work for you, that you resonate with. So it's easy for you, because you can't change if you're not understanding or resonating with the message. You have to resonate with it. So find what resonates with you. What path of enlightenment resonates with you, and tapping into that source energy to work with you to move through.
Okay.
So I don't really have any, honestly, because once you get on that path, you'll be directed to where you need to go. So let me say, because like I said, it's not one size shoe fits all of us. If I say a book, that might not be a book that you're into. So allow yourself to be open. Somebody will come through and have a suggestion for you. Something may pop in your mind. You're walking, you're like, oh, I need this book. So this is a personal journey. So I don't have a list of books and things for you. You will discover what you need. There's a toolkit with your name on it, and you just have to find it. You have to do that work, because it's not easy. No one's going to just, hey, here's a basket with all what you need. It doesn't work like that, because you wouldn't even enjoy the journey if everything was given to you. You have to discover. You have to find out. You have to figure out. Let stuff come to you. That's when you're testing this energy and seeing that it really works. So I don't have anything specific, but it will always come to you. Whatever you need will come to you.
Yeah. And just by you asking this question, you've already opened yourself up.
Absolutely.
So things will come to you that will show you which way or how you can do certain things.
Absolutely. I'm telling you, because once you tune in, the information comes like this. It will flow to you. I've been so excited on this journey. Things I didn't know that could happen. I have so many stories of how stuff has just come to me. Everything that I need, it comes to me. I don't even go out looking for it. It comes to me because I'm already in a posture of receiving and of learning.
Yes.
So what you need will always come to you. Always.
So that's material, ideas, everything will come to you.
Right. Finances, resources, opportunities, everything you need will come to you. Absolutely.
Yes. Is there any other questions before we close off?
And thank you for that question. That was a great question.
Yeah, that was a good question.
All right.
Well, give it one more minute and then we are going to sign off.
My first live, everybody.
But you did great.
I was so nervous. I was, but when you're doing what you're supposed to do, you go through it regardless of how nervous you feel or whatever, because again, I'm working for the collective. My responsibility is to bring the light and for everybody to see the light, be the light, and operate fully in your gifts and talents. That's all it is.
Yes.
That's all it is.
Yes. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you. And Lawanda, she just got on. Thank you. Good to see your name.
And we have this is confirmation for me. So this was very helpful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Again, all our information, and it will be on the live as well.
Absolutely.
In the description. And thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Have a wonderful rest of your day.
Bye.
Bye-bye. All right.
Okay.
We did it.